So this is a big compilation of just a ton of things that I've said on my walks at night. It's just a ton of story times, just tons of stories about me and my family and what the frick is going on sometimes. But yeah, anyways, hope you enjoy. Having brothers is crazy because, like, I wouldn't say it's crazy, but I'd say that, like, so many of my things that I liked were just because I thought my brothers were cool. Like, they went through an Undertale phase where they'd do Undertale everything. I decided that Sans was my favorite, and I decided that I loved the color blue just because of him, which is kind of weird. Anyway, it was weird. So, I probably haven't said this before, but I don't have a mom. She died when I was like 7. But the good thing and the bad thing about having a father is that the bad thing is that, like, you don't get a ton of those, like, feminine experiences. I didn't have a sister. I just had 2 big brothers and a dad. So I had to grow up with a ton of boys, and it was chaos. And also, it was weird because I had that standard to be like a lady and be super feminine, but all I was surrounded with is boys and video games. So I became kind of like a tomboy. And so my father would take away a ton of things because, like, you know, he was super strict and stuff. And then when I got stepmothers, when they were less strict, I got to do all those less strict things. So for half of my life, I was never able to watch, like, Cartoon Network and stuff. And now, I watch Gumball on the living room TV. Just because I'm bored. And I could watch anything else. But no. I'm watching the amazing world of Gumball. I mean, it's kind of funny though. And, like, this is part 2, by the way. Like, literally, I became so much more, like, feminine and stuff, but, like, I would rarely ever wear dresses, and when I did, he was super excited. Then I went into the phase of watching, like, super freaking fancy people, and by that I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't say they're fancy, but I freaking adore her. Her name is Amber Scholl. She showed me everything. I freaking love her so much. Go check her out. But anyway, I watched her for a while, and then I fell in love with, like, heels, dresses, everything. And yeah, I mean, safe to say, I have a quite good sense of style now. I wouldn't say it's particularly feminine all the time. Right now I'm literally wearing, like, cargo pants and then a Melanie Martinez sweater. Freaking love her too. But yeah, I mean, having a father is quite strict. Tales of having a strict father, part 2. Or 3, I don't know. But anyway, so my father, he was always, like, telling me to be, like, super girly and stuff, and I became a tomboy. Then YouTube came, and I watched YouTube all the time. I already had watched YouTube all the time. I didn't see what I was watching. I mean, like, 5-year-old me was watching Joey Graceffa, which was interesting for a 5-year-old, but nevertheless, it was interesting. But anyway, a little bit later, there was just a thing that in me that clicked, and I was always like, I want to watch those girl talk videos on YouTube. So I did, and that was my main education of any, I don't know, thing about feminine anything. So I freaking didn't know anything until I watched those girl videos, like, over and over and over again, and, like, I learned so much from them because my father couldn't tell me what any of that is. It was really interesting. Like, the first time I got it, I knew nothing. So my father literally, he was like, call your grandma, call your grandma and your cousin. I don't know. Okay, story time. Literally, has your father ever hated you talking to men so much that, like, okay, so one time I used to go on walks with my friend Celine. She was a very bad friend. But anyway, I used to go on walks with her, and we'd go up to the front, and the front had this thing where that month there would be, like, food trucks there. And so literally we went up and we got food trucks, we got boba, we got tons of other stuff that was up there. We got ice cream and stuff. And my father, literally, I was just going on walks with her. We were just chilling together. My father grounded me for 2 weeks, saying that I was talking to boys. Which I was never doing, by the way. And he also went up to her mom and told her that we were talking to boys, and he told her to ground her daughter. Just because he thought we were talking to boys. We weren't even talking to boys. The most talking to boys we were doing is ding-dong ditching our classmate. And he never answered. Fathers, why? So I lived in Japan for like 3 years. And like when I tell people that, they're always like so shocked. And they're like, oh my gosh, do you know any Japanese? Sorry guys, I was there from 2 years old to 5. I didn't know anything. So there were only like a few memories I had from there. There was like 3 places that we would go all the time. We'd also go to this place called Shuri Castle all the time. Freaking love that place. There was also like this pirate ship thing. And when I say that kids, they don't even have to know each other's language to get everything. So like, I just see a ton of Japanese kids and I'd be like, yo, what's up? And like, we'd play with them, but we wouldn't know anything that they were saying. And honestly, I was such a tiny child, I barely knew what I was saying. But we would play like pirates and we wouldn't even know each other's languages. And I'm so confused by that today. Like, how do kids do that? I don't... Toddlers are insane. The embarrassment you get from vlogging while just walking and a bunch of cars pass by. Honestly. I mean, I don't care though. They can deal with it. Oh my gosh, a quote that I came up with today. My brother was talking and we were going somewhere and I was like, he was like, you're so embarrassing. And I went, I'm embarrassing, but I'm iconic. And that's now my favorite quote in my notes app. Thank you very much. So earlier today, you know, I remembered that there was a sweater from Melanie Martinez. And since I was in the 1%, I was able to get it on Spotify. I went to go check it and like, I checked like how much it was and all that stuff. I had all that ready. I checked on Spotify and Wrapped was over. So I couldn't get it. So I'm gonna work hard on my Spotify Wrapped this year. And I'm going to try to be in the 0.1% for Melanie Martinez. I freaking love her so much. I hope I can get her sweater next year.